For years, the story of the European EV market was a one-man show. Tesla didn't just lead, they dominated. But as we cross the first quarter of 2026, the data reveals a shift that most analysts missed or chose to ignore. While the headlines were distracted by stock price volatility and robo-taxis, a silent takeover was happening on the ground. From the ports of Rotterdam to the highways of Germany, the dominance of the Model Y is being challenged by a mathematical certainty called BYD. Today, we aren't talking about opinions or brand loyalty. We are auditing the raw, cold numbers of 2025 and Q1 2026. This is the moment Tesla lost its grip on the old continent. In this deep dive, we're going beyond the surface. We will analyze the specific regions where Tesla's market share has plummeted by double digits. We'll look at the Juniper effect. Was the Model Y refresh enough to stop the bleeding? We'll dissect BYD's vertical integration and how their logistics network in Europe achieved in 24 months what legacy automakers couldn't do in a decade. And finally, we'll look at the pricing war that has turned the 30,000 euro segment into a graveyard for Western manufacturers. If you think you know who owns the European roads, you haven't seen these spreadsheets. Let's start with the heart of the battle, Germany. Giga Berlin was supposed to be Tesla's impenetrable fortress, but the 2025 registration data tells a different story. For the first time since its opening, Tesla's year-over-year growth in Germany has hit a ceiling. Why? Because market saturation isn't just a theory anymore. While the Model Y Juniper update brought incremental improvements in range and noise reduction, it failed to address the massive price gap opened by BYD's Seal and Sea Lion 7 models. In Q1 2026, BYD's corporate fleet penetration in Germany grew by 45%, directly poaching customers who previously saw Tesla as the only viable tech-forward option. We're seeing a shift from tech early adopters to value-driven professionals, and in that transition, Tesla's premium is becoming harder to justify. But there's a hidden cancer eating away at Tesla's dominance: residual value. As an engineer, you know that a product is only as good as its long-term valuation. In 2025, Tesla's aggressive price wars to maintain volume backfired. By slashing MSRPs by 20% overnight, they effectively nuked the resale value of every Model 3 and Y on the road. Corporate leasing firms in Frankfurt and Paris are panicking. Why would a fleet manager buy 500 Teslas if they lose half their value in 18 months? BYD is playing a different game. Their pricing is stable, their supply chain is predictable, and for a value-driven professional, the math of depreciation is now more important than the 0 to 100 specs. Tesla is winning the sale, but they are losing the balance sheet. Norway is often called the canary in the coal mine for the EV industry. If it happens in Oslo, it happens in the rest of Europe 2 years later. In 2023, Tesla held nearly 25% of the total market share here. Fast forward to early 2026, and that number has shifted significantly. The rise of the BYD Dolphin and the expanded Atto 3 lineup has captured the entry-level premium segment that Tesla ignored. By focusing solely on high-margin vehicles, Tesla left the door wide open. Our data audit shows that while Tesla is maintaining high volume through aggressive discounting, their brand equity in the Nordic region is facing its first real identity crisis. It's no longer Tesla versus gas cars, it's Tesla versus Chinese efficiency, and the Chinese are winning on the spec sheet. But wait, before you sell your Tesla stock or put a deposit on a BYD Seal, there is one number the headlines are conveniently hiding. When you see BYD beats Tesla in Europe, they are often counting PHEVs, plug-in hybrids. Tesla only sells BEVs. If we strip away the engines and look at pure electric competition in Q1 2026, the gap isn't a chasm, it's a dogfight. But here's the real kicker. BYD isn't just winning on volume anymore, they're winning on the invisible margin. While Tesla is cutting costs to maintain demand, BYD is about to switch on a weapon that will change the European landscape forever, and it's located in Hungary. This is the move that turns a trade war into a local massacre. As of Q2 2026, BYD's Szeged plant in Hungary has officially moved from trial to mass production. This isn't just a factory, it's a regulatory bypass. By building cars on European soil, BYD effectively dodges the 100% import tariffs that Brussels tried to use as a shield. But there's a technical layer here most people miss: vertical integration. Tesla pioneered it, but BYD perfected it. From the lithium mines to the blade battery cells and even the transport ships, BYD owns the entire stack. In 2026, while Tesla still relies on external suppliers for key components of the Model Y Juniper, BYD is producing 90% of their car parts in-house. That's a 25% cost advantage that no software update can fix. Let's get technical for a second, because this is where the war is actually won, in the cell chemistry. Tesla bet the house on the 4680 structural pack. It's an engineering marvel, sure. Dry electrode coating, high energy density, and structural integrity, but it's also a manufacturing nightmare to scale. Meanwhile, BYD's blade battery, a cobalt-free LFP chemistry, has become the industry's dark horse. It's not just about cost, it's about thermal stability and space efficiency. While Tesla is fighting for every micron in the 4680 production line, BYD is pumping out blade cells that are practically immune to thermal runaway and can withstand a nail penetration test without flinching. In 2026, safety and longevity have replaced peak performance as the primary consumer demand. BYD perfected the boring but bulletproof battery, while Tesla was still trying to solve the complexity of their own ambition. Let's talk about the Model Y Juniper. Tesla's 2025 refresh was supposed to be the Empire Strikes Back moment, and technically it's a masterpiece. Better thermals, 4680 cell optimization, and a drag coefficient that puts sports cars in shame. But in 2026, engineering excellence is meeting the wall of economic fatigue. The European consumer is no longer looking for the fastest 0 to 60, they are looking for the best euro per kilometer ratio. Tesla is fighting a defensive war with a premium product, while BYD is playing an offensive game with good enough tech at a too good to pass up price. Our audit shows that for every Juniper sold in Southern Europe, 3 BYD Seagulls enter the fleet market. Tesla is becoming the iPhone of cars: premium, desirable, but increasingly niche in a world that needs a Nokia. There is one final bastion for Tesla, the supercharger network. It's still the gold standard, but even here the moat is drying up. EU mandates have forced Tesla to open their stalls, and BYD is now deploying its own 1 megawatt charging points across major European corridors. The Tesla ecosystem is being dismantled by legislation. When every car can charge anywhere, and every car has good enough software, the battle reverts to the oldest rule of the book: manufacturing efficiency. And right now, the telemetry shows that Shenzhen is out-manufacturing Fremont and Berlin combined. And then there's the right to repair bottleneck. Tesla's ecosystem is a walled garden, great when it works, a nightmare when it doesn't. In Europe, where independent workshops are the backbone of the automotive industry, Tesla's closed-source approach is a friction point. BYD, coming from a manufacturing-first background, is being more pragmatic. Their service network in Europe is expanding through partnerships with established local players, not just proprietary centers. If your BYD breaks in a small town in Spain or Poland, there's a higher chance of getting it fixed by a local pro who has the parts. If your Tesla has a sensor failure, you're waiting 3 weeks for a slot in a high-tech hub. Engineering isn't just about how a car drives, it's about how it lives in the real world for 10 years. And right now, the Chinese are building for the real world, while Tesla is still building for a Silicon Valley utopia. The 2026 data is clear. We are not witnessing the death of Tesla, but we are witnessing the end of their monopoly. Tesla is no longer the default choice. They are the alternative. BYD didn't just show up. They outplanned, outmanufactured, and outmaneuvered the most valuable car company in the world on its own turf. The numbers don't lie, even if the headlines do. So, is Tesla's crown gone for good, or can Musk pull another master plan out of his hat? Whatever happens, we'll be here to audit the data. If you want the truth behind the EV wars without the marketing fluff, you know what to do. Hit subscribe and stay tuned for the next audit.